I have not been in this chair for, I mean, it's been a wild run this year. But we're going to focus on some things today, and I'm excited to share with you. This solo episode here is going to be strictly, hopefully, around our goals that we set at the beginning of the year. We have 2 months left, and I'm super excited because, goals are pretty scary, and there's some that we're going to meet and some that we haven't. So today we're going to talk about the goals that I've met. Well, first, the goals that I've set, the goals that I've met, and the goals that are still pending. Sit tight.
I used to be antisocial, that was the old me. But now I'm feeling social, and I think we should meet. I used to be a local, young to run in the streets. But now I'm tryna be a mogul. Before I D.I.E.
What's up, world? It's Brandon Avery, and I'm here today with myself because it's a good day to have a good day. And one of my goals is to record this episode in completion. So we have less than 2 months left of the end of this year, and truth be told, it's been a year. And I'm sure it's been a year for all of us, not just one person. And this is why I think this episode is really important to me. I even took a bunch of notes. It started off with just like, if you've been listening to me by now, you know that I can go in a big circle for a very long time. Anyway, so it started off with me like, I'm going to go there, Brandon, and we're going to pinpoint exactly what I want to say. So this solo episode can run smooth, man, But unfortunately, the real world doesn't. Okay. See what I mean? But unfortunately, the real world doesn't work that way. So I started with my voice memos as to text to my phone, and then I started a whole conversation. So let's try to pick up where I left off so I can achieve my goal and hopefully instill something in you that you can take from this episode, because it's been a while since we've been one-on-one. Anyway, so before I get started with that, I want to thank each and every one of you for riding this wave with me. It has been a great journey, and I can't wait to show you guys what's next. As you know, if you learned the pattern, I drop episodes at bulk. So it's been about 2 months, I think, since we dropped our last episode. I don't know. It's probably been a little longer. Honestly, I don't count. I've been trying to focus on myself, my dreams, and things of that nature in this crazy world. But anyway, it has been a while. We've been recording, but I haven't been dropping them. So this is going to be the kickoff. I'm not going to release it on Wednesday because we already have one coming up on Wednesday. So today we're listening to this is probably going to be Monday. And basically, I want to talk about the goals, talk about goal setting and if we accomplished them, if we didn't. But I'm going to utilize the episode to be a reflection of myself and in hope to inspire someone's listening that maybe feel like they haven't met their goals, or if their goals that they met wasn't big enough. Celebrating those small wins is what I like to call it. I mean, no matter how small that win is, it needs to be celebrated because you are a person who've done it. So I'm actually going to go on script because, I don't do that often, but it is my words. So during this episode, I'm going to reflect back on my goals that I've set for the year. We're going to talk about them. We're going to talk about the ones that I achieved, the ones that I didn't accomplish, and the ones I'm still working on. And I think that there are so many goals that I'm proud of. It's like one of them actually being one of my goals that I set this year was, the topic is going to be getting uncomfortable, Brandon, right? So I kind of put a topic on things, and that kind of helps me decipher how I'm going to go about things and how I'm going to attack things. So the topic of this year at the start of 2023, which was get uncomfortable, Brandon, go at it. Something like that. It was something like that. And what I mean by that is doing things that over the years success has brought me to get comfortable with that I didn't even realize it until I went to go try to do it. One of those being in social settings. So I've kind of provided my life as a gift and a curse. The gift being success as far as my own measure, right? How I will measure it, right? The curse is then becoming comfortable because of the environments I put myself in was environments that I mostly created. So getting uncomfortable this year was for me I had to set one goal a month. I had to be at one social event each month. And I don't know if I've been this proud of myself in a very long time, but I've met that goal each and every month this year. So for me, like that is something that I'm definitely going to give myself a round of applause for because I deserve it. And that's a small win. Like that's hard. If you are introvert, extrovert like me, you would realize how hard that actually is. It's like a hard thing to actually go out into a public event and be there and then to enjoy yourself. Like I always enjoy myself, but I don't like to stay long. And I really met this goal each and every time. I actually been done like 2 a month, sometimes 3. So that's something that I'm super proud of. Another goal that I set was to tell someone who I am and what I do. Now, another part of comfort in a sense was I've got to a point where enough people, not 1 million people, like maybe like 10, right? Like 10 people know who I am and what I did. So in events or social settings, I normally drift away from that conversation because I do it kind of all the time. So it kind of becomes tacky personally to me. I'm a talker. We all know that, but I like to talk about things, right? Not current events and things of that nature. And I don't like to talk about myself first. I like to talk about other people and get to know them and be curious in their world because I'm in my world all the time. So that's like one of the things that I just didn't like doing. And I heard myself contradicting my words because one of the things I say here is, hello, who are you and what do you do? That is because I want the light to be shed on other people because I believe that this life book that I'm in, I constantly learn more and more each day. So that was another goal. I've been meeting. It wasn't no time on it, so I have met that goal. I tell people who I am and what I do, and it's been fun. It feels like 17 again. That was another goal I had set. Another goal was to hand out flyers in the guerrilla marketing. I've met that goal one time, but I don't want to check it off because it wasn't, in a sense, 120% personal. Because I still have flyers, right? So like prime example, I didn't achieve this goal because I did achieve the goal as far as making it, creating it, and doing that, but I haven't handed them out. I just been telling myself for 2 weeks I'm gonna hand them out, and then that went from so you're gonna hand them out to now I folded it up 4. Look at it. This is 4. You guys can't see it. I folded 4 up and put them in my book that I carry, and I said you're gonna get all these out by the end of the week. That was 2 weeks ago. So I'm not halfway towards this goal, but I'm almost towards this goal. And the reason why I wanted to put that one in there because it's a goal that I did not achieve. I didn't accomplish this goal because I have other things I have to deal with before I'm able to get back into this level. And I wanted to kind of cross over into the sense of small wins, right? So I can beat myself up about that. I can say, hey man, you didn't reach that goal, you suck. Or I can say you've done some other goals that you've met that are really hard, like the things that you have to restart on by going to a public place and saying, hey, my name is Brandon Avery. I'm a multi-hyphenated creative. And these are some of the things that I do. And I'm going to boast about these things because we are now in a time where being humble is now a different phrase. Like, it's like, you're not allowed to be proud of yourself and all the things that you've learned over the years, all the skills and talents that you have that you've been given, right, by whoever you believe in. And then we can't do these things because if we do, then it's tacky. That to me blows my mind, right? It really does. So let's go. I also see how I have I'm gonna just read this note that I wrote that I was talking to myself on our way here. There are so many goals that I'm proud of, such as attending one social event a month. I've met that goal. I met that goal every month, and I'm proud of myself. A round of applause. Someone, what's it say? Oh, telling someone my name because it's clearly, it can't. I guess I talk too fast in a sense because I'm just reading off what I said and it wrote it. Anyway, this is why I'm going to really publish this episode because you guys need to understand that this is all a thing. Like this life, like this is all just pretend, right? Like we wake up every day and we pretend the best way we can. And I want to stay here for a moment because I've learned with my years on this earth that a lot of wordplay is backwards and it's frowned upon. And when it's frowned upon, we kind of like frown upon it, right? So in a sense of pretend, right? So it's all cool to pretend when you're a child, hey, pretend to be a chef and be a doctor and all these things. And it's cute. But then when we become an adult, we kind of forget that we're still pretending. And I think that sometimes when a person stop pretending, they end up losing their dreams, right? So the word pretend can be pretty good. For me, it is. So I pretend to be this person who I truly am every day in hopes that people will see this person that I'm pretending to be because I am that. And then once they begin to believe that I become that, whether they accept it or not, because I'm already being that every day. And that's why that word to me makes me laugh, because in reality, we're all pretending. We're all pretending to be something we want to become. Those are the good ones. And then you have the ones who are just pretending to try to fit in, or those. We're not talking about those type of pretenders. We're talking about the rule of life and how we look at it. And for me, that's what work. So coming here every day to pretend to be this person I truly see myself as has been a challenge in a sense of life, because we have a lot of ways, I guess, that we are taught at an early age that we didn't have to undo and unwind and kind of reshape our mind to help us get to the next step, the next goal, the next day, or the next pit, So I'm big on that, and I'll get back on to where I was. So I said sidebar, courage is confidence, which is really, and I have it in all areas. And the reason why I didn't meet the flyer goal is because I have a lot of courage and I'm very confident, but just like any other person in this world and everyone listening, we all are human. So there are things that I'm strong at and there are things that I'm not strong at. And I think that what I really wanted to, the reason why that note came about actually is because I wanted to put emphasis on, you may not be strong in that particular genre of things, meaning that I am confident and I have a lot of courage in so many things, just not hand out a flyer. and that's not a bad thing. It's literally, to me, it's not a bad thing. I would rather don't have the confidence to hand out a flyer than to not have the confidence to speak in front of a room and tell people who I am. There's different strengths and weaknesses when it comes to that. And I don't want to go off because I'm kind of losing myself. This is another reason why I don't kind of script things. They were supposed to just be bullet points. And clearly that we're 12 minutes in and I was all over the place. But I think I'm still in the same area. So I'm going to put this phone down because this shows I'm going to air this. Like what I've been doing lately is, I'm not going to say I've been fucking up on purpose. I will promise you I have not been. But what I have been doing is I've not been beating, which I never really beat myself up. I do kind of beating myself up to the point where I don't post or release something because of one little thing that I seen that no one else can see. So in the sense of when I speak about this podcast, I talk about how everything is done live with no edit. So that way I can just export and upload. And this is going to be yet another example of exactly what I mean. So there's a lot of mistakes that I've made in the beginning. The reasons of why, and I actually love that I use my podcast as a reflection, because I'm going to reflect on to why don't I script these podcasts, because it throws me off. Like my brain moves so quick. For me, I used to think that was crazy back in the day. Now I love it. It moves so quick that there is authenticity. This is just we're going to title this episode, yeah, Brandon, you may want to use a script. I doubt it though. So there's a different type of authenticity in my words when I'm saying them out loud, when I'm thinking about what I'm saying next less. Literally, like right now, I'm actively trying to think about what I'm going to say next, and I keep on stumbling against my words versus me just doing what I normally do and kind of stay on a topic that I go off and come back on. So like right now, people who haven't listened to us or know the form of the show or even know me probably is a little tuned out, but trust me, we'll get back to it. If I release this episode, it's going to be some goodness in here. Anyway, so back to goal setting, because that's the reason of this episode. This one-on-one is goal setting. What are we accomplishing? What are we doing in the future? Because this is a manifestation. We have 2 more months left. This is for me to speak to me, but also to speak through me to you, and hopefully that you are caught up. So let's just talk about a few tips on how I am able to achieve my goals. Okay, step number 1. I've mentioned this before and I will mention it again. We have to put ourselves with doable goals. So I go in a 3 type of tier goal. which is short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals, right? Our short-term goals are always going to be doable goals. So one of my best doable goals is tie my shoes every day. And majority of my shoes is already tied. So guess what's already accomplished every day? That. And then I have a little sense of dopamine. Then I'll do things like things I know that I'm going to do in the morning. Put on a shirt that you like. That's a goal. You write it down so it can become tangible, and you cross it out when you accomplish it, because you're going to put on a shirt unless you're not going to put on a shirt, right? It's another doable goal. And then I hype myself up. So then I'm like, yo, yeah, you put that shirt on. Now I'm not literally doing this as we speak with these type of things, but I'm doing this, right? If that makes sense. If you know, you know. Those are doable goals. And then I'm going to create my book. Always have a book, guys. Always have your book beside you, whether it's an iPod. Oh, I'm getting old. Not an iPod Touch. Whether it's even an iPod Touch, they have notes on it, honestly. But I would prefer a book because you can write it, you can see it, you can feel it, and it's going to come true quicker. So I always keep my book with me, which I'm almost done with this one. Proud of that. And I'll open up another one and do the same thing. And I used to start with just the date. Now I do date, time, and I'll do task/to do. And the reason why I started that way is because then I can put things that whether I accomplished already, if I didn't accomplish it from weeks ago, I'll write it again, because you got to constantly see it, right? And then once you see it, you're like, okay, I'm getting it done. So then I'll write down my daily tasks and to do. So whether it is to respond to email, check Instagram for the messages from the automated response, because when it goes there, I can't see it because it already kind of reads it. It was weird. So these are like things that I know for me that I like to do that keeps me going. So that's another thing. I also adapted the highlighter feature, which I'm not really good at it, but I'm getting better. When I accomplish a goal, I highlight it. It's kind of like these cues that we cue ourselves to let us know we're doing a good job. Another big goal of mine is discipline when it comes to social media. So I think we've came in this world where we are entitled. We want a quick result, whether it's an Amazon package the same day or our food here within 5 minutes. It has become a curse, in my opinion, because it's just not real life. You know, we're looking for this satisfaction immediately. And I think that kind of halts us. So in a sense of discipline, when it comes to social media, turn it off. Don't allow no notifications to your device. If you can, and I do morning, afternoon, and evening checks, and I do have a random one, like, I'll jump on randomly and look, but I put a time on it. If I'm giving myself 30 minutes on social media, I have to then give myself 30 minutes in real life. And that's whether to write something, to think, to sit down, to talk to your family, to call a friend, to actually do things in the real world, but you have to match that time. So I say this so that way no one feels offended, right? If you are the person who are scrolling for 6 hours, by all means, I won't judge you. As long as once you're done with that 6-hour shift, you give yourself a 6-hour shift. And that is, to me, the best way you can balance it out, because you're going to get tired of giving 6 hours to the internet without giving yourself that, whether it's 30 minutes, whether it's 20 minutes, whether it's 5 minutes. I don't care. You need to match the time. That's the new rule. 2024, new rule. Match the time you give on the internet to yourself, whether it's your personal goals. I don't care if you're looking at a wall and counting sheep. It's still your time. So get it back. That's another way. Another way I have to set my goals is that's probably the basics of where I am when it comes to goal setting. But just like every other person on this earth, there are going to be a lot of goals that we do not meet. Does that mean that we're failing? No, because you're writing so many down, you only can get so many done. And this is where the small wins come in at. You then look through your book, right? So every year or so, I'm not going to say every year, but throughout the time of the year, I look in my book. I see what pages that are left blank. I see which things that are not highlighted. And I look at it and I go, oh, I didn't do that. There's a reminder. Let me go try to put it on the new page. And there's even time when once the book is closed, I put it away, and I'll come back to it every now and again, because I then use it as a reflection, kind of like a diary or a journal, to then go back to that past tense, which hence why dates and time started to make sense when I would put it there, because I would look at a pattern and go, wow, I'm getting most of my ideas. There was a point in time where I got most of my great ideas between 3 and 6 a.m. And I would have never known that if I didn't timestamp these things. So these are just small things that you can do to help with goal setting. Is it going to cure it? No. But there's also ways that we are able to help here at the Social Tour. Insert promo. We have a blog that I put a lot of free game out. I mean, this is something that is slept on, because even there's some things that I charge people here for, as far as workshops or one-on-one sessions that we do here, that I would put on the internet. Because one thing I've learned about the world is a lot of people do not want to read information. They want it to be handed to them. So in a sense of me, when as you grow, you start to get, I guess, on the bad side of different people, and people are going to have comments, and, people will say that you gatekeep and all that cool stuff. But I know that in the universe, I put a lot in the universe, whether it's through person-to-person conversation or via my website, thesocialtourhq, to give free game and do my service to my community and continue to move on with my life. So I think that there's a lot of things that I talk about on my blog that you can grab. It's there, bringing it back to the old ways, to where people blogged. And I think a lot of information is on the internet, and a lot of things is there to help us in our mental. And I think that if we took the time out of social media, we will literally have the time to invest in ourselves, to learn something about our dreams, our goals, and to just kind of make us feel better. So, and I'm trying to segue into where I've been in my head, right? I've been putting myself first. I've been having a lot of uncomfortable conversations with myself first. I think that is important. Like, I have been less delusional of the delusions that I would put in place for my friends and peers that will help them but harm me. That's a deep one. We will not go into that one on this episode, but I will just state that. Do not. Okay, let's choose these words wisely. Okay. Stop pouring your cup until you have enough to drink. I'm big on now reshaping and changing the words we heard over the years, because I think there was a setup at some of them are a setup, right? The way the wordplay is, some of it is a setup. So in a nutshell, I'm no longer pouring from my cup even when it's empty. I gotta fill it up first, right? I'm gonna drink some. I'm gonna drink half of it. I'm gonna pour some more in it. You know how that is, right? I'm gonna drink some more, and then if I have some, I can give you that. That's where we are at nowadays, and I hope that each and every person understands what I've said 120%, because it will definitely help you. Because I've allowed all the gifts that I thought I had, what I do have, and the reason I thought I had them, which I didn't know then, because it's, we can't tell the future, right? Was for a reason for me to alter ways that I would do or say or help because of those reasons. Without saying too much, I was wrong. And that's what I love so far about life now, that we constantly are growing. I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly doing things that are for me, and it's going to make my life a little better. I don't feel as though that my purpose, the way I did it before, needs to be done that way, because I've been shown over and over again I am actually living my purpose as far as helping and becoming a bridge the way that I'm doing it. And it doesn't require me to be anchored down underneath someone I believe in more than they believe in themselves. That's just not going to happen anymore. So sorry, not sorry. Forgive me for those who understand. And I really don't care for those who don't, because, one thing is promised in this life, and that is death. And that promised time is not written. You understand? So when we're stressing about things and worry about things we cannot immediately change, we are simply just altering our universe to allow bad things to happen, versus living life the best we could and trying our best, and also realizing that everyone on this earth is human and in their own world, that they can't stop with every little thing you do and say and praise you like you're a 4-year-old. But you can do one thing first, is praise yourself. And I think it's going to start within. So whatever problems you may or may not be dealing with, whatever thoughts you may or may not be having, my personal advice, which I don't like to give advice in a sense, I like to give my opinion, not advice. My personal opinion / advice would be to literally focus on yourself. And that is going to come with some selfishness, but it does not make you selfless, right? Because no, I just said that word. I used that word wrong. Yeah, you get, see, this is what I mean. I'm not taking it out because you know what I meant. Anyway, so I'm going to do 30 minutes because, you guys know my rule. I have to have 30 minutes minimum on this podcast or I'm upset. I'm actually surprised I made it this far and kind of stayed on topic. I'm kind of playing the conversation back at my head and I'm thinking I didn't make any sense. But as my brain is telling me, hey, bro, you are making a lot of sense. People are still going to think you're crazy. But the people are going to listen. They're going to listen because there's a lot that we're going to unfold in here. But I wanted to slow down and end a little bit because I'm going to try to do this. I'm trying to put some clips on the internet because I said to myself when I first started it, I said, bro, you're not going to do the video. You're going to just straight up in here. This is a filler. This to let people know what's going on here. Let people know what should be expected in the next couple of months. And we're going to talk about towards the end of the year. But then I was like, bro, you should really put a video up because like you haven't made a podcast. And I think I'm counting 2 months, probably more than 2 months. And, the listenership has kind of went down a little bit. We're shy under 1,000 as far as listeners we getting. So we got to kind of do this all over again and post these videos, sort of clips, so that way we can get our listenership back to where we once were. So now I'm recording video because, that's what I'm going to do. And hopefully it makes it through, which it will. I'm sure I count like 2 clips I got anyway. And I just see how I just killed like a minute of time by just talking about bullshit. But I thank you for listening. But no, on a real note, I want to end by stating we are on our 3rd year. We acquired the space October 2019. We opened the space February 27th, 2020, and we've been rocking since then. It has not been easy. When I was talking about pretend, I tell you, I always go first circle, guys. Trust me. Trust in the sensei. Trust in the social tour sensei. We talk about pretending, full circle, moment of how I try my best to be as transparent as possible when it comes to being an entrepreneur. It has not been an easy task. I mean, I would not be here, honestly, if it wasn't for me. It's crazy. I'm gonna be as humble as possible. It wasn't for me and my family for supporting me, and even when times were low, they were able to remind me that I definitely have a village. So I thank myself first for the goal setting, the delusion, my purpose, and understanding what I think I see in the future is going to be here. I want to thank my mom and my sister firsthand, without a doubt, for just each and everything that they have done for me since I've known them. And they listen to me blabber every day. I'm not going to go too deep because I am on video, and without saying enough, they know. My godmother, because she definitely gets an earful. The village is definitely necessary. And again, I would love to go into detail, but this is not an award speech. This is me to kill 2 more minutes, but also just to reflect on how appreciative I am of the universe that I'm placed in and my village that I have. I will say, please, guys, keep your loved ones close, because time is one thing that we are not promised forever for. So I've always been this way. I spend more time with my family than outside. I've been trying to find a very healthy balance with business and family. As my children getting older, it has been getting a little tougher, because I have we have these parent thoughts, and I think I'm going to do time before I do anything. And that's enough said. I don't need to go into that. I'm going to do time first, and then I'll do everything else later. And running a business has been very challenging to the mental, because sometimes you want to come in and you want to let this all go. Like some days I actually do want to come in and I say, bro, I can do all this from home. I can still provide the services that I've been providing, follow my dreams, and do all these things that I can do. I can literally do this from home. I've done it before. But then the person on my side of my shoulder says, but you're doing this as an extension of who you are. You're doing this for legacy and all the things that you stand on, breaking those curses, leaving things tangible on this earth. And when those times are rough, I take a second. I'll go on social media on the Social Tours page, and I'll scroll all the way down. I'll scroll all the way down for the very first post, and then I will be reminded of how far we've came since 2019. I am blessed, and it has not been easy, but I am more than thankful for the trials and tribulations, the new friends that I acquired, and the friends that we've lost, because this world is a messy place, and I now understand only the strongest will survive. You guys know I can keep going on, but I am not, because I reached my goal and I'm just trying to get up out of here, because I had a great day. It was a great conversation. I hope you guys took something from this. Please, thank you for listening. Please share our podcast, and we're going to get ready for an exciting season 5. I know I've missed some episodes out, but trust me, believe they're coming, and they're coming in bulk, and they will be insightful, because I've met some amazing people in the valley and beyond, and I can't wait for you to hear our conversations that's been recorded already. And you are going to be enlightened, inspired. And if you haven't already signed up to become a member today, our membership perks has gotten out of control. And this community is now becoming more closed. I remember when we started, we were at $0 membership for a year. Then we went to $12. And now we are at a pretty prestige price, because we have resources and a community that only those who are going to be willing to invest in themselves and their dreams and want to help others get across that bridge. So now we are more closed in as members only. So if you haven't already, visit thesocialtour.us to read more and hopefully become a member. And if you are ever in the Easton area, swing by. We're here. We were here and want to chat. If you want to visit the place, this place is pretty cool. It changes often. And if you're a business, brand, or creator, and you want to know how to upscale your platform on the social media, or just learn different tactics and get a workshop for yourself or your employees, join us. We are here as a creative hub and a resource center for like-minded individuals. I am thankful. This is just the beginning. Cheers to more goals. Peace. I'm going to keep going. I'm on the video. This is my Family Matters. It's like, oh, man, it's been a great job. Shout out to Gita House, man. He's doing great things in Atlanta. He's actually the person on the theme song. Oh, man, we've met so many amazing people. I'm so proud of so many people. I know this is the end of the episode, but I am ecstatic as to all the people we touch and work with. We're over 1,800 people connected, and it's just the beginning.